Hi dear students, I am Dr. Anup. Welcome to Biochemistry Master. This will provide you a syllabus-based biochemistry lectures and will give you all the topics in detail. This is very much useful for those students who are doing their masters in life science subjects. So, be sure to subscribe our channel and share it to your friends. So, what is biochemistry? Is it biology or is it chemistry? In the great panoply of sciences, biochemistry stands right in between chemistry and biology, quite literally in terms of size. If we go smaller than that, we'll get into smaller molecules that are made up of just a few atoms. That is chemistry. If we go even smaller than that, we get particles that are even smaller than a single atom. That is particle physics. If we go much bigger in size, if we are looking no longer an individual molecule, but a cell or a part of a cell, that is biology. So coming back to the question, what is biochemistry? It is the chemistry of life. You know atoms and molecules from chemistry, but there is nothing alive about chemistry. What the speciality of the chemistry of life? It is the case of emergent properties. It is the case of emergent properties. That is, as biomolecules come together and interact, the properties emerges that you wouldn't predict. So, this is the domain of large biomolecules. You can think of biology in terms of structural hierarchy. Atoms, molecules, cells, tissues, organs. Pretty soon, you have a multicellular organism with metabolism. Now, let's start with some special atoms. CHNOPS: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. These are the elements that makes up 98% of living matter on Earth. We can study the behavior of individual atoms, but things are more interesting when these atoms interact. Bonds are formed and broken. We can see the emergence of chemical behavior. Some of these atoms stay bonded together, forming biomolecules. There are four main kinds or type of biomolecules. They are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. First of all, I will give you a small introduction about each of these biomolecule. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are simply sugars or polymers of sugars. Carbohydrates may be defined as polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. And they are mainly composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbohydrates participate in a wide range of functions. They are the most abundant dietary source of energy for all organisms. Carbohydrates are the precursor for many organic compounds such as fats, amino acids. Some carbohydrates such as glycoproteins and glycolipids participate in the structure of the cell membrane and cellular functions such as the cell growth, adhesion and fertilization. They are the structural component of many organisms. For example, cellulose in plants and chitin in arthropods. Carbohydrates also serve as the storage form of energy to meet the immediate energy demand of the body. Next is proteins. Proteins are polymers of amino acids, that is, amino acids bonded together to form a chain. These chains or strings of amino acids are folded into 3D structure. This 3D structure determines its function. Proteins are predominantly constituted by 5 major elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Proteins perform a great variety of specialized and essential functions in the living cells. These includes static and dynamic functions. Structural function. Certain proteins are primarily responsible for structure and strength of the body. This includes collagen, elastin, keratin, etc. In dynamic function, proteins are more diversified in nature. This includes protein acts as enzymes which controls the whole reaction that taking place inside the cell, hormones which helps in signaling, blood clotting factors which helps in blood clotting, immunoglobulins which helps in fight against pathogens, membrane receptors, then storage proteins, muscle contraction, respiration, etc. Lipids are a heterogeneous group of organic compounds which are relatively insoluble in water and non-polar in nature. Lipids are classified into simple lipids like fats, oils and waxes, complex lipids like phospholipid glycolipids, lipoproteins and other complex lipids, then derived lipids, miscellaneous lipids and neutral lipids. Lipids perform several important functions. They are the concentrated fuel reserve of the body. Lipids are the constituent of membrane structure and regulates its permeability. They are also serves as the source of fat-soluble vitamins. Lipids are important cellular metabolic regulators. Lipids serves as insulating material and protect the internal organs. Finally, nucleic acids. Nucleic acids includes DNA and RNA, deoxyribonucleic acid and a ribonucleic acid. These nucleic acids are the polymers of nucleotides, or we can call it as polynucleotides. And these nucleotides are composed of a nitrogen base, a pentose sugar and a phosphate group. Their main function is to store and transfer genetic information. It is important to note that all these are carbon-based molecules, and this is why we say we are carbon-based life forms. The skeleton of biomolecules are made up of carbon atoms, which are covalently bonded together to form a stable structures. Hanging off the outsides of these biomolecules, we can see a bunch of molecules. We can call them as functional groups, and these functional groups participates in chemical reaction. So this carbon skeleton giving the biomolecules their 3D structure and the functional groups participating them in their chemical reactions. So we can see another level of complexity emerges when these biomolecules interact each other. So finally we get cells. Within the cells we have an incredibly diverse set of chemical reactions that are controlled and run at just the right way to keep us all alive. Once again, we have cells. Within the cells, we have an incredibly diverse set of chemical reactions that are controlled and run just the right way to keep us all alive. And that's what biochemistry is. The building block of life itself. Thanks for watching and wait for the next video.